Yes, hello and welcome to the Forward Factor. Oh, got a little bit loud there. It's Tim in the studio with you, as always, joined by Simon and Ben. How's it going, Simon and Ben? Your microphone was switched off, but it's okay now.
Oh.
There they are.
Just in case you didn't hear, I'm alright.
You're right.
I'm very well, mate. So
It's a groundbreaking day in the studio. England are playing later, and after the thrilling closed-doors 0-0 draw of the weekend, we're braced for it, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're ready.
So excited.
What a time to be producing a sports podcast. We're going to kick off. I mean, did anyone actually see the England game before it was
bits and pieces, mate. That's about it. But
bits and pieces? I mean, what was there to see? It was so there was behind closed doors because who are we playing? Racist. Croatia are a bit racist because they put a well, they are because they put a swastika in the middle of their pitch. I think it's fair.
I mean that does count as racism.
That is quite blatant racism. So
the question is happening like 2015. So why is the ban only taking effect now?
Thankfully, Ben, everyone's favourite informative news brand, Newsbeat, answered that question for me, and it's because it was only able to enforce the ban in matches that are UEFA, and this is literally apparently the second UEFA match they've played.
That's bizarre.
That is strange, isn't it? It's just like
surely FIFA
are like, oh come on,
it's just a swastika.
It's just a swastika.
What?
Look,
what is that?
Now goal line technology. Oh, not into that, but swastikas, come on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So there's the title of this episode: FIFA like Nazis. FIFA, no, probably getting quite a lot of trouble for quoting that one. Please don't sue us, Seb Blatter.
He's not there anymore, mate.
Oh, of course he's resigned. So
Gianni Infantino.
Yeah. We're all right.
Yeah, the ball.
I'm sure they hate Nazis really.
Yeah, there you go.
Those people. Exactly. Anyway, we've got another game going on tonight. We're playing Spain. By the time this episode comes out, we'll probably have found out whether we lost pathetically or managed to pull something out of the bag. You've looked at the team sheet, Simon.
Yes.
There's someone on there we don't know who they are. It's one of those where you're like, who?
Well, yeah, you don't know.
Well, I don't know who they are. Who are they?
Harry Winks.
Oh, okay. I have heard of him.
Okay, that's cool.
Wait, wasn't he in the World Cup squad?
No.
Oh, was he not? Okay. That's cool. For a minute, it was going to be really bad for me. Like, I really should have known who he is.
He plays for Spurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ben Chilwell's at left back again.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Apparently, he played quite well against Croatia.
Yeah,
so
okay.
If he did that,
could be worse.
Keeping the team, but
is this going to be another occasion where we have to acknowledge that maybe we overperformed at the World Cup a little bit, as in, or that the hype? I know singing football was coming home. It wasn't an overreaction at all, but maybe what's the word like? Maybe there's a little too much optimism given how well performed versus how good we actually are.
We definitely overperformed, didn't we?
There's no doubt.
At the time.
Yeah, we did.
But I don't think it was wrong to be optimistic, and I don't think it is still wrong to be optimistic because
makes a change as an England fan. That's all we can do, really.
Yeah. We're looking to the future. I'm excited by Sancho. I'm
sure
you
he came on. He did quite well. I thought so. I'm a bit disappointed it hasn't started tonight, but I'm sure he's only 18, so there's plenty more opportunities for him to come in and do his thing.
With Gareth Southgate, do you think it's a bit difficult now? Because after the World Cup, he's pretty untouchable. And we love him as a guy. Like, the waistcoat is now the most desirable piece of fashion attire. And he's probably the first likeable England manager in our lifetime.
Easily.
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta love Sven.
The scandals that came out about him.
Jesus.
Yeah, I love Sven. Great guy.
Who else we had?
It was an entertaining journey, at least.
McLaren.
Not McLaren.
Right. McLaren, Capello, who's probably the least likeable person in the universe.
Hodgson,
no exaggeration. Hodgson was lovable in a kind of like lost old man kind of way.
Yeah.
It's just like you need to constantly remind him that what his name is and stuff.
Yeah.
And how
exactly. Yeah.
Right. You want to play 4-4-2? Big Sam, who's just a massive corrupt cheat. We're going to libel everyone on this podcast. This is what happens when Ofcom don't rule you. We're come at us, man. We're untouchable. Except we're really not. Please don't sue us. So, in the grand scheme of things, Southgate, by far the most likeable England manager. Does that maybe ever? Does that maybe raise a problem that if the quality of play isn't good enough, he's going to get an easier ride? Or do you think we shouldn't be in a culture of just sacking people anyway?
Yeah, I think we should just give him a bit of time, to be honest, because he's sort of in a similar position to a lot of the players in that he's quite inexperienced and all of that. So, and he's proven that he's got the ideas in his first major tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
We've gone to the semi-final.
Knows the youth team as well.
So, I think give him time, give him 4 years, who knows what could happen.
And he's probably like the first manager in a long time that's had a clear vision going forward to integrate these young players into the team and actually sort of have a pathway into the first team, which hasn't.
That's what we need. I think I've always felt that there's so many players in the Championship that get overlooked, and it should be about kind of building the best squad, which may mean leaving out the biggest names, like when Rooney was sort of shoehorned into the team. Yeah. That's what
I hated that.
That wasn't good. I was on student radio at the time, and it was just like every week it was a different kind of abuse coming at the players from the people on the show. So it's better that we actually, enjoying watching the team and proud to be.
So that's a good thing about this squad as well. Mason Mount's in it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Derby, who I hadn't even heard of.
Exactly.
Before.
It just fits in the format.
We haven't played Derby yet, so
we're
no clue.
We're happy. I'm sure we'll beat Spain. It's gonna happen. Holding out the faith for it. Anyway, moving on. Mayweather's coming into the story, but McGregor is going to be the central focus of this one. He was basically he's had quite a busy few weeks, safe to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Lost to Habib, claimed that he won the battle. Yeah, was his Instagram post. Has been advertising a lot of his own whiskey. And
fair dues.
Is looking forward to the rematch after Habib, who...
That's if it happens, though. I mean, that's
what MMA constitutes.
Story.
Habib still hasn't been paid, I think. I haven't heard an update to that story.
I don't think he has, no.
I've been looking back on this. For those who don't know, McGregor and Habib had a big fight. McGregor was very disrespectful, as he always is. Maybe crossed the line in the run-up to it. Who knows? Brought lots of things like race and religion into it. Then lost, and Habib jumped over and started to have a fight with everyone. But I guess the big thing for me is I unfollowed McGregor on Instagram over this.
Whoa, really?
This is a big bombshell. I was a big fan of his. And it's weird because the actual reason I unfollowed him was because the coach thing that happened early in the year.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that. Have you guys seen where he literally
I guess a dolly, I think, wasn't it? Just launched at the back.
So there's basically, and I don't know what a dolly is, but then I was watching it. It's like a massive metal thing.
Yeah,
massive metal.
Literally a tray thing.
Yeah. So basically, there's a coach full of the fighters. Who I don't know why McGregor thought this was a good idea. They used their fighter access passes to get to this underpass where the fighter's bus was coming in. I think Habib was on it, and it was an intimidation thing. Yeah. And they just chuck it through the window. The window smashes, glass everywhere. McGregor and his team are running all over the place and starting fights with people. Look, when he's putting down fighters in the most brutal, funny way, I'm that's hilarious. When you're throwing a metal fence through the window of a coach, what? That's just a criminal charge, which he got off, and then...
It is, yeah. I mean, the way Habib reacted after the fight. He got treated badly for that compared to, obviously, what McGregor did in November last year, I think it was.
Yeah, and the latest is Habib has put statements on his Instagram saying, one of his fellow fighters who went for McGregor in the aftermath of that fight, jumped into the octagon. Habib's saying he'll retire from MMA if that player is penalised and sort of called out the UFC. Do you think the UFC maybe gives McGregor a bit more favour because he's brought so much attention to the sport?
I definitely give him more leeway, that's for certain. I think there's a lot of accusations that Dana White is kind of...
in bed with McGregor, in a certain sense, like that, proverbial sense.
And then I think obviously the way that Khabib's gone about his business, he's kind of trying to do the same thing with the UFC that McGregor usually does with Dana White and co. And trying to force his way and get his own way kind of thing.
Exactly. Not the greatest time.
Nah, but we'll see what happens with that. I mean, either way, it's going to be interesting to see if the rematch happens between
and this is where the Mayweather thing comes in. So Mayweather has he said he wants to fight Habib?
I think he's kind of hinted that he's up for it,
Yeah.
He's all Habib's idea.
Fair enough, I'm sure he is.
I mean, multi-million-pound fight easily.
It's like the Logan Paul KSI thing. It's just do you want to make money? Do you want to get punched in the face? I'll give you £1 million to punch you in the face. That is what it's become. I
mean, we'd all do it, wouldn't we? It's that way.
I don't know if I would.
Would you?
Would you know?
I don't know if I would either.
Depends who it
I mean, it's not like 1 million, though. It's like multi-millions. So
even then, I don't want to get punched. I'm not £1 million versus 3 million. That's not going to be very different for me. It's not.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with $500,000. That'd keep me going for life.
Yeah. Who would you let punch you in the face for $500,000?
Pretty much anyone. Well, actually, no. $500,000.
For $500,000.
It doesn't have to be a boxer. It can just be anyone.
Well, as in who's a fighter who'd be nice? If it was Anthony Joshua,
Audley Harrison. I'd let Audley Harrison punch me in the face.
Who's that?
Who's like a really bad boxer.
Yeah. Really terrible boxer. It'd be like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer becomes a boxer, except instead of like all the hits, it'd just be one, and then I'd be on the floor. Anthony Joshua, we were talking about, he hesitated before knocking someone out. So I reckon
you feel it'd be too nice to like.
I think he wouldn't. He'd just be like, look, this kid can't take very much, and he'd sort of bops me on the nose.
Bop you on the nose.
Yeah,
like
it's still breaking.
Is that like a true thing?
That yeah, because sharks have pores of jelly in their snouts. Okay, and they can detect electromagnetic. It is. They can detect electromagnetic currents in the water.
Yeah,
I've forgotten what their name is. Something in Latin. But so that's why if you punch a shark in the snout, it's like a sensory overload.
Right.
Sharks are actually a lot like dogs if you look at them. They are.
That's the first one that comparison.
No, watch videos of sharks. They get really happy and sort of like play.
I need to check this out now.
They do. They smile.
Punch me in the nose.
Well, shark doesn't have hands.
Exactly.
So. Anyway,
where's this going?
We're getting a little bit serious, so we're going to move on to the funny stories of the week to wrap off the Forward Factor Light Edition. We'll keep it skinny. First of all, you'll never guess who has assisted Usain Bolt in his first goal. Not clickbait. Well, you've told me the question.
Is it Ross McCormack?
Holy smokes, it is.
No way.
Imagine that. In 2008 Beijing, Usain Bolt just wins the gold, and you say in 10 years' time, quick maths man, big shot. In 10 years' time, he's going to get assisted by Ross McCormack. Was he playing for Leeds at that point, or was he not even?
Pretty wonderful, yeah. I don't know.
What a wonderful world we live in.
Oh, yeah.
That's proof of God right there.
What a time to be alive.
So this happened because they're playing for the same team, which is some obscure
Central
West
Coast Mariners.
Yeah, that's it. Central Coast Mariners.
Does this mean that Ross McCormack's fallen on hard times, or Usain Bolt's doing really well in a professional football career?
Both.
Yeah. Probably both.
Yeah. McCormack's on loan from the mighty Villa.
The mighty Villa. Have you seen the footage of Bolt playing properly? Because after Soccer Aid, I was a bit disappointed in him.
Okay, I didn't see Soccer Aid. But
he was just not that quick. I mean, it sounds
he was not that quick.
Because running in the context of a football match is different. Look, okay. Look, when you're running in a football game, it's different to running 100 metres, because 100 metres, the only factor is you and, the lane or whatever. Yeah. Whereas when you're in the context of a football game, you get a few quick sprints at the start, but you have to be chasing a ball. So you can be super quick, but it's useless if you get to the ball and then don't know what to do with it.
True, but you said he's not that quick, which is a whole...
But he wasn't that quick in that game, is what I mean. Obviously, he could...
I sort of don't believe you, but yeah.
I reckon I could tag him in a race. I reckon I could take him.
It's fun when that happen, I think. Get a little charity game going.
Yeah. Right, we're going to end... Go on.
No, did you see his goals?
Was it a good goal?
I mean,
the second one was terrible, wasn't it?
I did not
see the second one was that bad.
Not good goals.
It was like...
keeper was nowhere. I don't know the keeper was.
Poor effort from the keeper.
Down the shops, weren't the keeper.
I want to end the Forward Factor on a really high note for you, Simon, because you've been hating on Steve Bruce for about 6 months.
Oh, longer than that.
What was Can you recreate your exact reaction when you found out Steve Bruce had got sacked? But with noise.
That was just for the part.
You were just like in slow motion.
For the video.
It was KSI.
It was like one of the most exciting things that's ever happened.
Ever happened to you or maybe anyone like?
Or, big shout out to the Cabbage Geezer.
The Cabbage Geezer.
Do you know about the cabbage?
Oh,
where have you been?
Someone threw a cabbage
at him.
Was it you? Was that why you went on last week?
It was.
You made the journey.
Yeah.
We're dedicating this podcast to whoever did that, because I don't like Steve Bruce either.
Absolutely.
No one does.
No. And now we've got Dean Smith from Great Bar.
It's great. Do you want the Villa job? And then Victoria last week was like, it's going to be Thierry Henry assisted by John Terry, and it's Dean Smith. They probably found him at a local pub and were like, "You're right, Dean. Do you want a job?"
Yeah, no. I mean, in all seriousness, I think it's probably a better appointment than Henry, and he's
probably a manager.
He's got.
Was he at Nottingham Forest? Imagine
You're definitely imagine.
Okay, that. There was a Dean who was once at Nottingham Forest.
Was there?
Probably.
Dean Saunders.
Maybe.
No, I don't think he ever got that high. Anyway, Dean Smith. He's got a good style of football. Was at Brentford, taking them to, I think, 9th a couple of seasons in a row. They're doing all right at the minute.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
and took Walsall to the playoffs, all of that. So,
sweet.
Excited.
I'm just surprised he's given up that project at Brentford for. I know it's not the whole.
I think that's probably the only reason. Yeah, really. I think otherwise he'd have.
Yeah, I think we'd all probably do that. To be fair, in that position, easily done.
Exactly. Has been a forward factor. Good luck, England. Even though you've probably already lost. Peace out. See you next week. Can't wait to find out if Jake Paul's a sociopath. Last 2 parts this week. What? Massive. Shane Dawson, mate. YouTuber drama.
Oh, I thought he was the Hull City captain.